South African National Editors Forum has condemned statements by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi calling for a counterintelligence investigation into the South African media. Mkhwanazi has asked Parliament's ad hoc and joint standing committees on intelligence to instruct state security services to investigate journalists. That committee is probing allegations of corruption in the SAPS. Yesterday, Mkhwanazi called for the imprisonment of reporters and heavy penalties for those who make errors in their reporting. Let's get you the take of SANEF. Hopewell Kharebe is the project manager there, and he joins us now live. Hopewell, this is very worrying coming from the police commissioner, because it paints a picture that crime intelligence might be above the law.
Actually, he's just setting us back 100 years. You look at it, this is how many journalists disappeared, many journalists were jailed during the apartheid era, and now he's calling for the same era where we now find ourselves having to be investigated by state intelligence. And we know what happened to many journalists there, who some of them died, were murdered mysteriously. So what he's saying really is that he wants the state intelligence not to be investigated at all, because his gripe is that there has been a report that News 24 had reported on, which was from the which was an internal investigation. So as far as we know, that the media is our eyes and ears in society, and we cannot be held back and then be told that this unit cannot be investigated. The next thing, the judges will say they should not be investigated. The SAPS will say they should not be investigated by journalists, because then it means that they should send upon us the state intelligence agencies as if they are a bunch of dogs to bark at us and keep us at bay as journalists. It's wrong.
We know the role journalists have played, particularly in South Africa, and perhaps even more so over the recent times in our country through the state capture years. Without journalists, would we even have had the state capture inquiry?
Even within the state intelligence itself, there's been a number of wrongdoing that journalists were able to pick up. There's been state intelligence that were kind of abusing the state coffers, particularly when it comes to paying things like whistleblowers and so on. So you look at it all, is that they are just saying they should not be investigated at all. And he thinks that when somebody declares that the report it's a secret report, therefore it should never see the eyes of the public. It is wrong. That's how they hide information, by declaring information secretive or special in a particular way. So we think that journalists should continue doing their job, and we will lobby Parliament to make sure that they don't encroach on this freedom that we have. We've fought very hard over the years to get it where it is. And even the Justice Zondo, during the state capture, did applaud journalists for the work that they've done, and mentioned specifically that had it not been for journalists, we'd not have reached the kind of level of inquiries that we are now reaching. Mkhwanazi himself, when he felt that he was cornered, what did he do? He called a press conference and became a whistleblower and told the media what was happening, because within the state channels that he had, he could no longer breathe, he could no longer be able to be heard. And for him to bring the minister down or let the minister be suspended, he needed the media to be a stepping ladder for him to get there. Now that he's at the top, he's the hero of the nation, he now declares that the step ladder should be cleared, should be thrown away because he's at the top. He also needs to be investigated if there is one a need for it. So us as journalists, we'll always look at the whistleblower. We will also look at the intentions behind the whistleblower coming forward, and we should be allowed to do that. It doesn't mean that because he has done heroic things that suddenly now he now wants the very same medium that he used to get the attention that he needed. Now he wants to stifle. It is very unfortunate as far as we're concerned.
And it sets an incredibly dangerous precedent. As you said, Hopewell, what next? So journalists can't report on crime intelligence. Where does that end?
Exactly. Then think about it. It means sooner or later, even the judges will declare that, we should not investigate, report on judges. The police will start saying, don't investigate or report on. then it cascades. It becomes a snowball effect where every department will start wanting to classify documents and think that journalists should stay away from those documents. Otherwise, all the things that has happened in Tembisa hospitals, in the health department, and all other departments that journalists have been able to dig and find information and bring about proper investigations and forensic investigations by the Auditor General as well, because of what journalists have been able to access the information. And without access to information, then there is no journalism at all.
So what do we do about, and I suppose the answer to this, Hopewell, is we deal with it in the way that we deal with any kind of criminal and unethical behavior, be it in the media, be it in the police, be it in government, or in business. Okay, what do we do if the allegations that Mkhwanazi is making about journalists being on the payroll of certain people, what happens then?
Well, first of all, if he still has to show some evidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way he's showing evidence to the Nhlanhla Commission that this is what happened, he has information for that, there are files that have been given to the judge about that. So we'd expect him to at least honor the journalist and say, guys, this is what's happening. And we also have our own, regulatory measures, which were, approved by Parliament. So he can go to the Press Council if he's complaining about the behavior of a particular journalist. He can go to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission if it is in the broadcaster that is talking about, or print. If it's a print or online journalist, he can go to the Press Council. So there are judges there, constitutional judges, retired constitutional judges, that are sitting in the Press Council, that are ensuring that we also adhere to our code of ethics as journalists. So if we have breached that, he can bring that evidence forth. And that media house, whether it's a SABC or any other media house, Arena or whatever it is, they will then have to take action against their own journalists if such a journalist has done that. So it is expected of him to do the right thing, to sit there and be glib about the truth and be, and speak just in what you call in convoluted terms without bringing any evidence. It does not bode well for the commissioner of police, for the provincial commissioner.
Yeah.
In Barcelona town.
And we know that the ad hoc committee is sitting again later this morning. We've got the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola, who will be before Parliament for the next 2 days, so today and tomorrow. What are you hoping that Masemola is going to deal particularly with Mkhwanazi's statements around how journalists should be investigated by crime intelligence?
Unfortunately, we are not allowed to sit in that committee ourselves, the parliamentary committee. We are the fourth estate, we are independent. But if we had that opportunity, we would have put the question to Commissioner Masemola and ask him that what has he got to say about this and what does he approve such a thing? Because it is overreaching. Police know what to investigate, they've got the powers to do that. And if he feels that we have done something wrong, let him bring forth that evidence, okay? So we just want to see if the commissioner would use his powers as well to pronounce himself on such a call by his colleague, that now suddenly journalists are supposed to be investigated by the state intelligence, knowing our history in South Africa, what state intelligence officials have done to journalists previously.
I mean, it might even fuel attacks, Hopewell, on journalists. We've seen the risk that journalists take, particularly those in the investigative sphere of journalism. And their jobs are hard enough as it is.
We've witnessed how some police officers have always wanted to get journalists, let's say, out of police stations, away from wherever they are working. And those that respect General Mkhwanazi would then be tempted to start wanting to harass journalists and kick them out of the crime scenes, for example, and any other place where journalists are working. We're supposed to have a good relationship, and it has taken us years since Jackie Slay for the crime reporters to have a relationship of sort with the SAPS, and we nurture it over the years with other commissioners as well. And as SANEF, we always facilitate and have meetings with either the police minister or the national commissioner to make sure that the relationship is cordial and we all respect one another, because we need each other to do the job that we do. So when we end up with the provincial commissioner speaking the way he does, then what that will do is that it creates animosity and it drives the wedge between the general nurturing of relationship between journalists, particularly in this province, because there are those that really respect him. And when he's saying these things, and this could lead to many of our journalists being harassed by the provincial police in his province.
Hope Mkhwanazi, thank you for your time this morning, and we do hope to hear more from the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola.